What's the point of all this electronic music gear?
Freebie.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome to Freebeat, where I post new music-related content every single day, so if that sounds good to you, hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell, let's get started. So for the past year and a half, almost 2 years now actually, that I've been working on this YouTube channel, I've gathered a pretty decent collection of electronic music gear. However, these 4 pieces right here, specifically these 3, but we'll include the NTS One, have kind of puzzled me for the better part of the time that I've owned them. You see, I don't really know how to use them in my music. And I'm not talking about like, how do I incorporate the Model D into a song, or, how do I build a lead on the Microfreak or a good pad, or, how do I come up with a cool bass on the Volca keys. I can do that. I understand that. I've learned a lot in that department. I'm very proud of how much I've learned, actually. But I'm talking about how to actually incorporate these instruments into my songs that I write. You see, while I am first and foremost a drummer, I've also worn the hat of songwriter for the past 15 years or so. I'm talking full songs. I was in a progressive rock band for a long time, and my arrangements have always kind of borrowed from that genre of music. So we've got, in the very least, we've got an intro, we've got verses, chorus, bridges, pre-chorus, post-choruses, outro, solo sections, and everything in between. And in those songs, when I write parts, the part is written from start to finish. It's not chopped up into certain loops or sections or things like that. That's just not how I work. My parts evolve. I employ musical techniques such as evolution and foreshadowing, particularly in crafting my drum parts. But I pride myself on long, full songs. And when it comes time to write music with these pieces of gear, I've found that my options are pretty limited. For instance, the Microfreak and the Korg Volca keys both have a built-in sequencer, but you can barely get more than 4 measures of music out of that, and that's just not practical for actually writing music. Now you're probably thinking, well, just use a DAW like Ableton. And I do have Ableton Live Lite on my computer. I haven't really been bothered to upgrade it. I will use it every once in a while for, laying something down. But my big problem with that is I cannot stand working on music with a mouse and keyboard. It's just not how I'm musically programmed. I cannot get inspired with a mouse and keyboard in my hand. Even, with something like the Launchpad and whatnot, in conjunction with the mouse and keyboard, I still have a really hard time getting inspired and working on full songs. I still feel like I have a hard time getting inspired. I really would like something that is hardware-based. Now you could say, well, why don't you just bust out your Electron model cycles and use that to sequence everything? Which would work, and that is a fun setup, and I actually have played around with that. The only problem is it's not polyphonic, and you're still trapped into little sections, little patterns, and chaining is not that easy, and it's very difficult to accurately jump from point to point when you're editing notes. When you want to write a drum fill and measure 396, that references something that you set up in measure, 19, for instance. And that's the kind of stuff that I like to do. Now, who knows? Maybe that is just a little outside the realm of possibility when it comes to hardware. I'm not sure yet. So I am actually asking you guys to help me find what I need to make this setup work for me. I started researching this a couple weeks ago when I started using the Model D pretty prominently again, messing around with it and really enjoying its sounds. And it seems that something like the Akai MPC One would be right up my alley. It's hardware-based. It's not insanely expensive. $700 is quite a bit still, but it's a price tag I guess I could swallow if it solves my problem. But I am looking for something to be the hub of my setup, something that I can plug a mic into and record vocals, something I can plug another synthesizer into and record the sounds off of that, not just as a sample, but like as an audio track. You know what I mean? I also have been looking a lot into the song mode of the MPC One, and I really like how you can kind of make your basic sections and then export those into one long sequence and just view it on a normal timeline like you're on a computer, but you're not, you're at hardware. I really, really enjoy that. I really think that would help me out quite a bit. So right now my gut is to save up a little bit and go for the MPC One. However, I don't really know what else is out there. I did a quick search for MPC One alternatives, but I couldn't find a lot. And I'm not sure if that's because the MPC One is a relatively new device, or if there's just not a lot out there that does a similar thing to the MPC One. The MPC Lives are cool, but I don't need a lot of those extra features, and the price is quite a bit higher. Again, I don't want to use a computer, so I was looking into the Machine MK3 a little bit, but that is, of course, just a controller, and that software looks very weird anyway. I briefly looked at the Ableton Push 2, but again, I want to step away from the computer. I want to keep everything hardware-based. So I guess to summarize, I want there to be a point of my synthesizers. I want there to be something that I can do with that awesome sound that I dial in on the Model D or the Micro Freak or even the NTS-1 or the Volca keys. I want to be able to use them in a complete arrangement alongside other instruments. I don't want to be stuck in just 4-bar loops or sequences or beats. I cannot stand the term beats. I'd like to be able to record vocals, record my synthesizers, control stuff via MIDI, be able to sample if I need it, and of course record those nice long songs, and I'd like to be able to do all of that in a piece of hardware. To me, it seems like the MPC One is going to be my winner, but if you guys know of something else that I've missed, please let me know in a comment down below. If you did enjoy this one, if I gave you something to think about, be sure to leave a like on it. If not, you can leave a dislike, that's okay too. Doesn't hurt my feelings, just makes me try that much harder next time. Either way, be sure to hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell. Thank you so very much for being here. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye.